Take two. Welcome everyone to the Mouse Ears podcast where we talk about all things travel, but mostly Disney. So this week we are not talking about Disney. We are not talking about Universal. We are not talking about SeaWorld. We're not talking about Legoland. We are talking about the top 3 things to do in the greater Orlando area beside the theme parks. I know what you're thinking. There's stuff to do there besides Disney. There's a lot to do in Orlando besides the theme parks. So stay tuned. We're going to dig right into it and let's go. Let's cue that intro. Yes, I am one of your wonderful, glorious, tremendous hosts, Brooks. But with me, I have even more wonderful, tremendous, stupendous people. I have Steph over there in Florida. Steph, how are you doing and how many inches of snow did you get?
I'm tremendous. Hi. We got 0 inches of snow, but it's been a very ugly day. 57 degrees out has been this steady climate, no sun at all. It's kind of weird, kind of chilly. I'm not prepared for it. But how are you doing?
Oh, we're cold. I don't think it's gotten above freezing for the past few days in Charleston, South Carolina, or Chucktown, South Kakalaki. Elton, over there in the great state of Texas, how are you doing and how many inches of snow did you get?
Howdy, howdy. Great indeed, if I do say so myself. Currently, we have a 0 on the ground. We got 2.5 to 3 inches, kind of depending on where you might be walking in the great city of Houston. So it's cold. I'm feeling frosty, and I am ready to record.
Yeah, I think we got 4 or 5 inches
Oh
here.
boy.
They closed down, so one of Charleston's big landmarks is the big Cooper River Bridge or the Ravenel Bridge. It's one of the biggest 10Ks in the country every year. They closed that down and people were actually snowboarding down the bridge.
Okay.
So,
Might I just say, I'm going to interrupt here for a
yes.
real hot second. Texans and Houstonians alike came out in clutch when the city of Houston shut down on Tuesday. There were a bunch of my type of people, and I am talking about those people that do enjoy some good old fashioned time on your side by sides and or four-wheelers. Yes, they were in fact riding on the streets, the snowy streets of downtown Houston. So I want to say a real big shout out to all those guys and gals and kids that were down there. Glad y'all were safe, and I am ready for the summertime.
Yeah, I
I'm
hear you.
not. We get summer 360 days a year. We get 5 days of like a chill, and I like it.
I know, and that's why I'm
Uh,
ready to go back.
Come on
well,
over.
I mean, I thought I was doing good coming to a coastal town, but this is Ellie has enjoyed the snow until she was sledding and wiped out in the laundry basket they were using as a sled.
I
Yeah,
love
when
it.
you sent that video, that was great.
Very, very light, I'd say, wipeout. It was a very, very soft wipeout. But
There's no blood.
no, not at all. But we are not here tonight to talk about the snow. We're here to talk about the great city of Orlando, Florida. That's right. So, real quick, this is about the time that we do the new news. We're going to actually do a little something different because we're recording this episode actually a week ahead. So when you're listening to this is not, this is like two Thursdays ago,
Are
or
we in the past?
yes, it's your kids, Marty. We got to save your kids. But are you telling me this thing runs on?
What you mean to tell me is you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
Well, I figure if you're going to travel in the past, you got to go in style.
No, we're not talking about Universal either.
Yeah. So, and we're not talking about Disney either or SeaWorld. We need to do a SeaWorld episode. Anyway, I digress. new news. So what we're doing, we're gonna actually record new news separately. When you are listening to this, head over to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and check out the new news there. Uh, it will be posted and you'll have all the latest news. But before we get into our episode, because we're talking about or the city of Orlando and things to do in Orlando, not theme park related. So yes, there is stuff to do in Orlando besides the theme parks, even though most of the time I go to the theme parks. But before we talk about that, we're going to go to the trivia master himself, Kelton, for the trivia question.
I'd be more than happy to. Today, last week, and every other episode of the Mouseers podcast is always brought to you by the Magic Candle Company for our trivia question. Next time you want a Disney-inspired scent to fill your home or office, whether it may be a candle, room spray, or more, make sure to use our special promo code MOUSEEARS for 15% off. That is MOUSEEARS. 15% off of any future Magic Candle Company purchase. Here we go, and this one is going to be a bit of a doozy, so I'll be surprised if anybody gets it. What was the first theme park to open in Orlando, Florida? And I'll say it again. What was the first theme park to open in Orlando, Florida?
Coney
If you think
Island.
you know, that's fantastic. Stay tuned to the end of the episode to find out the true answer.
Is it Coney
Back
Island?
to you, Brooks. It is not Coney Island.
Oh, yeah. No. Not
Wrong
Coney Island.
city. Wrong city of beautiful. We're talking about the beautiful city of Orlando.
That's right. So, what we did with this episode, so again, we're talking about things to do in the great city of Orlando and surrounding Orlando.
Greater Orlando
I was,
area,
Yes.
some might
Yes.
say.
Central Florida,
Yes.
Greater Orlando, one of those.
I was going to say I was going to ask the Floridians, because Kelton, as you said in the previous episode, is split 50-50 where you're from. Are you from Texas? Are you from Florida?
Well, today I'm going to rep my great state of Florida.
Your Floridian side.
I am, because I want, shouting out my hometown of good old fashioned Melbourne Beach. I am wearing the hoodie of my high school, Melbourne High School, my marching band hoodie. That's right. A shout out to all you guys over there in the 3-2-1. Let's go.
Okay,
So
what
I'm repping
instrument
Florida
did you
tonight.
play in the marching
Trombone.
band?
Now, I played trombone, and then my senior year, I didn't actually do anything with it, but I did start to learn the tenors or quads if you're on drumline.
Mm.
I have no rhythm though, so
I'll be honest with you, I do not have any of my clothing from high school. That is, I graduated from high school 20 years this year.
congratulations on your 20 years, Brooks.
Thank
And
you.
Steph, what has it been, like 2 or 3 for you?
It's
Sorry.
been more than that.
I will say I did keep my Letterman's jacket for wrestling from the longest time, but I ended up donating that to Goodwill. So someone is walking around with I think in Charleston, South Carolina, someone may be walking around with a Lakeside High School wrestling Letterman's jacket with Walker on the back.
For the record, it's been more than 10 years. I know I look young, and I know I'm the youngest, but...
Well, I mean, at this point, I've done my shout out. Brooks has done his. Do you want to shout out your old alma mater there for your high school?
Sure, why not? Where I graduated, because I did switch high schools.
Oh, I did too. I didn't rep my other ones either.
So I
went to 3 high schools.
Good God, Brooks.
In 4 years, yeah. All in
No,
Augusta.
that's too much.
Sorry.
No, you're good. That's a lot. I only switched once. But I graduated from Boca Prep International. I was there on a soccer scholarship. So I'd get up, go to school, play soccer for 2 hours, co-ed. It was a really very sports-oriented academy. I would shower, we had locker rooms and everything there, have like a snack/breakfast, and then go to our classes, and our classes were like 2-hour intervals. So we wouldn't have all of our classes, like all of the subjects in one day. They were broken up, and then, we'd be in class for 6 hours, like with a lunch break in between, and then that's it. Then you go and do your sports in the afternoon. It was just really very, really cool. I want to say that the craziest thing is that I speak both English and Spanish languages. Growing up, I was like, oh, great, I am bilingual, fluent. That's awesome. No, I go to this school and I'm like the only one that speaks 2 languages because the majority spoke 6 or more. I was like, it was an international school, so every quarter we would have all these exchange students. So it was really cool. I played sports, got to meet people from all the world. It was, yeah.
That sounds really cool.
But my graduating class was 18 kids. There were 4 girls. I was one of the 4 people. In total, all of high school was 70 something. So we had prom all 4 years, because what's the point of having an 18-person prom? And let's see, what else? And that school was a total of like 200 something kids, and it was from preschool all the way to 12th grade. But I only went there sophomore, junior, senior year, and I graduated with an international baccalaureate diploma. So actually, if I wanted to, after I graduated there, I could have gone to any college in the world, because those credits would have transferred over. It was very hard, but very cool, unique experience. Soccer scholarship, because that was my life back then.
I was just happy I graduated.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
C's get degrees.
Well, after this fantastic history lesson, getting to know the Mouse Ears podcast crew.
Yep.
Yeah, you dived in a lot deeper than I thought you would there.
I did. Honestly, I'm very proud of the experience I had, because it is cool, it was unique, and I learned a lot. I still have, like, in my Mouseum, if you could see behind there, I got all my binders and books from when I was in high school, because it was, yeah. Nice memory lane. Sorry, guys. I totally went down the rabbit hole.
No, it's Kelsey also played co-ed soccer too in high school.
Nice.
So
love it.
Yeah, she went to a very small high school too. It was not like that, but she grew up in a very small town.
Well, I can't say that soccer isn't tied to today's episode, at least.
Yeah. So, see, it's all connected in the great circle of life. But today, we are talking about what us, the Mouse Ears podcast hosts, the MEEP hosts with the most, think are the top 3 things that you and your family can do outside of the theme parks and in and around the Orlando area. So with this list, again, we have a definitive MEEP's top 3. So we each gave our top 3, and then we went through that beforehand, and we have created the top 3. So we're not doing the way we normally do it, where we each give our own top 3. This is the Mouse Ears podcast top 3.
This was like 2 days worth of narrowing down. I mean, how many did we have on the list? Like 15 or 17 things.
There's
before?
A lot to do. I went off of a list of in my research, I went off a list of like 25 things to do in Orlando. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, I need to go to Orlando more.
And not do the theme parks.
Whoa, now. Take a day.
You have to do
you need
one
a rest
day
at
Magic
You
Kingdom.
need a rest day. But I will say this too, and little plug for a season 1 guest, Peter Burkhart from the Burkhart Project. Him and his wife Sarah and their lovely family live in Orlando. They're from Chicago. They live in Orlando now. But if you go back and watch some of their daily vlogs, they would show some of the stuff that they would do as locals there in the Orlando area. Every time Kelsey and I go to Orlando, I always want to go to like Winter Garden and all these different places and like go to the farmer's market and all this stuff. And she's like, we have a strict schedule of theme parks.
It's tough. It is tough.
But we have a lot to talk about, especially with the number 3. And now, Kelton, you created our show notes. Are these in? We didn't even discuss this before. Are these in order? Three,
No,
two, one. Okay, so this
no,
is in
these are just
no particular order.
no
Okay,
particular order.
okay. So we're going to start with what I think probably you could do probably a whole episode if you wanted to go in depth of all the stuff to do.
Do you want me to talk about iDrive?
So yeah, I mean, I think we
Because
could all talk about iDrive.
we all could.
Yeah.
There's a section of iDrive that I would like to leave for Steph to talk about because she's
Yes.
mentioned this topic a number of times.
Every time we mention iDrive, it's like, wait, you can do this.
So, for those that don't know, International Drive is a road that actually. And so it's funny because it kind of stretches from like Universal all the way on down to the the Orange County Convention Center, which, as we all know now, is right by Epic Universe. There is, y'all. There
Really is international. I mean, it goes from
Universe to Epic.
It goes from islands to a completely different universe. So it should be an intergalactic drive.
It very well could be with some of the things that we're going to read off here. So, if you find yourself bored in Orlando, I'm sorry. I mean, at this point, because like if you're staying out of the theme parks, there is so much for you to do. International Drive has everything from attractions, shopping, dining, dinner shows, which is separate from dining. Who would have thought that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You also have the nightlife, which is just fantastic. It's so great. I can't wait to talk about it. There's one. I'm going to highlight a little bit in each one. Then there's recreation, and you can even relax with some spa treatments, all on International Drive, which runs straight parallel to I-4. So, to get started with it, iDrive has about 19 different main attractions. You've got everything ranging from mini golf to helicopter tours, which are usually the ones you see flying over the theme parks. They actually have a skydiving place. Not really sure what you call it, but it's called I Fly Orlando. Get in a suit, go into a tube with a big fan and skydive. Technically, so you got Fun Spot America, Andretti, indoor go-karting, a chocolate museum and cafe, escape rooms, Top Golf. You've got the old Ripley's Believe It or Not and Wonderworks. Y'all, if you haven't done anything like that, I strongly recommend that you do something like that. I mean, it's great. Excuse me. So on top of that, now this is kind of a newer thing that they've added in, but they've got this place called Icon Park. Okay. And I'll get to it a little bit down, at lower as well. But Icon Park is home of the Orlando Eye, which is the giant Ferris wheel that you can see all over Orlando. And I thought I read that it's like 410 feet in the air, which I don't know if is actually true or not. So I'm gonna have to go back if somebody wants to look that up, to kind of see. I don't remember exactly what it is, but 410 feet does not sound right. So there in Icon Park, it consists of an aquarium, a museum of illusions.
I have an answer.
Who you do, go for it. So the Orlando Eye.
What was your previous guess?
4.
So you are wrong. It is 425 feet.
Hot dog, as Mickey Mouse would say.
Hot diggity dog.
That is. So the Orlando Eye definitely has multiple flashing red lights on top.
Well,
since Mount Everest does not.
Google says 425. Wikipedia says 400. So it's.
Ooh, I'm not sure which one. Anyway.
So, hold on. As you can tell, the Orlando Eye says is 400. So
we're
Google,
going to
you got
go
it wrong.
400 feet tall. So on top of, there's just a lot of different main attractions, and air quotes for those who are listening and not watching, that you can do outside of the main theme park areas, like we've already mentioned. On top of that, So moving on from attractions, we love to talk about food on this podcast. And International Drive is not shy. I mean, sometimes there's restaurants stacked on top of restaurants at this place. And you've got everything. You got Mexican, Asian, Chinese cuisine, seafood, steakhouse, pizzeria, Italian, American, and of course your desserts. I love some old-fashioned ice cream.
Plenty of food chains, all the chains.
Johnny
the
Rockets,
chains.
Ben
ever.
Jerry's.
All the chains.
I mean, then on top, it's so stay away from the chains, try something else.
Please.
And I mention that because there is one. So with dining, we also have dinner shows, which is different from dining because you have entertainment to go along with that. And I was reading about this one that something I wrote on the show notes just had me cackling earlier, which is the dumbest thing, but I had to write it. So I want to talk about Mango's Tropical Cafe. So it's a little Latin themed. So of course I'm sitting here going, well, are you wanting to feel a little spicy per se? Oh yeah. Talking about salsa spicy. So how about getting
Mexican
that
salsa,
spicy
yes.
taste from the best Latin themed dining experience at Mango's Tropical Cafe? We're talking salsa right inside of the state-of-the-art dinner experience that provides a one-of-a-kind Latin themed legendary entertainment featuring dancing from the salsa, the bachata, and reggae and pop. You know what?
Even I knew that one, Kelton.
Well,
I would pay money to see you there, Kelton.
you'd have to pay a lot.
Fam.
Same with Michael. Between you and Michael, there.
I am a sit at the bar kind of person, and that is all you're gonna see.
I know Brooks is gonna dance.
Of
Kelton
course you
will
will.
feel so out of place.
Well, I used to
would
take
just be-
bachata lessons. Yes.
How will I feel out of place?
If you
That was
walk
my pre-K
into
days.
a Latin, they call it a cafe, a Latin restaurant, in your cowboy boots and hat, you'll feel out of place.
Well, first off, not in the state of Texas, because let me tell you,
I was about to say,
some of the Latin descent people here, the thousands of dollars that they have on their feet.
Alligator skins.
I'm telling you, the rodeo is coming, and my Hispanic brothers and sisters, y'all be looking fly. I have never seen boots so pretty. So,
Definitely a different cultural experience out there.
well, yeah, I drive as touristy.
Yeah. I would love to see that though. Really want to see that.
can I mention another dinner show that's listed here
absolutely.
that I feel like is right up my alley, and I feel like would also be right up Jenny's alley. But we didn't mention before, Jenny, unfortunately, is feeling under the weather tonight. We miss you, Jenny.
Yes, we do.
Please feel better.
But yeah. But this is the Sluice Mystery Dinner Show.
Yeah.
Grab your cloak and magnifying glass as you become your own version of Sherlock Holmes and be a detective as you attend this dinner show. As the show begins, you are immersed into a world of comedy and intrigue as the cast work to solve a variety of mysteries. This show is full of improv and crazy characters that keep you on your toes as you get closer to solving each mystery. Unlimited beer, wine, and soft drinks as you join in the fun of this dinner show. Have y'all ever been to a dinner show like that? Or like a play where you're also involved?
I tend to stay away from those.
So I remember So I remember my grandfather was in a play and it was dinner theater and they needed waiters. So I was one of the waiters, which actually helped me get my thespian card into the National Society of Thespians in high school. Since we were talking about high school earlier, I was a jock and I was Troy Bolton before Troy Bolton was cool. Shout out to High School Musical, bringing it back. But so I remember like serving all the food and stuff, but the waiters were also involved. And like, I remember some of the, because the actors, they had their normal lines, but the actors just like doing full improv. And my grandfather played like this philanthropist but also this womanizer. And like he came in with a woman that was a lot younger for him in the play, and my grandmother was sitting right there front, and like he was like, "Now, hun, like this is the play." And after the play, my grandmother was nice, but during the play, she was staring daggers into.
My cheeks hurt from smiling so hard.
So before we move on from the dinner shows, I want to mention one more.
Yes.
And I say this for a reason. I've got an old friend of mine who I've known since elementary school. He actually works and is a stunt person for the Pirates Dinner Adventure.
I was
on
hoping you were going
iDrive.
to say that.
Yes.
Very popular.
So Pirates Dinner Adventure. You're going to climb aboard an 18th century Spanish galleon that is anchored in a 300,000 indoor or 300,000 gallon, I missed the word gallon there, indoor lagoon, and take a seat for an awesome dinner show full of swashbuckling adventure. Indulge in a port of call feast as you and your family enjoy the singing, the dancing, and the dueling this show has to offer. It is the perfect mix of comedy, romance, and action that will have everybody hungry for more. And actually, yes, he does. He does a lot of his own stunts and flips and swinging from, mast to mast and all that great stuff. So, Jason, if you're listening, shout out to you, my guy.
So it's like, oh man, now I can't think of it. Medieval times, but with pirates.
Medieval times, if you wanted to go just out there on 192, head east.
So,
a very popular one.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of dinner shows.
I think I would enjoy pirates more than medieval times.
Oh, I think
would.
so too.
I would.
Of course, if I went there when I was a little kid, I could not say arg. It would be wag. Wag. Because I couldn't say my R's. It came out as W's.
I'm hoping we gave you enough time. I think it's time to go shopping. And I know you've been dying for this one.
Listen, I am not a shopper. I really am not, except for like Disney. Shocker. Okay, so okay. Yes, I am excited, but mostly because the Orlando area has so many outlets and so many stores.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like that is just, how do I phrase this? We get people from everywhere, right? In Florida. Florida is a major tourist destination, and people like to come and see what we've got as far as, merchandise and clothes and things that they might not be able to get in their own hometowns. And the fact that Orlando has two major mall shopping centers and two major outlets, really, they're always crowded. There's really never a time when there's not a bunch of people visiting them, locals and tourists alike. My favorite thing, and which is why I mentioned, Disney merch, is because both the Orlando, and I'm sorry if I pronounce anything wrong, the Vineland premium outlets, I always say Vineland. Vinland, it's like vineyard. I say vineyard.
No, Vineland.
Vineland, it just
Vineland
sounds
outlets.
Weird. The Vineland premium outlets and which one's the other one? The international. No, well, the outlets, the international premium outlets.
Oh, yeah.
They both have Disney warehouse stores for you to be able to go and get Disney merchandise directly from the parks or even Disney Cruise Line at a really great reduced rate. Is there a line? Yes. But it's a lot of fun to go shopping there. And again, they have a bunch of stores, great deals, always a fun time. I especially like to go there for Christmas shopping, like for presents and stuff. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention. And then, as far as malls go, there is the mall at Millennia and the Florida Mall. You can't go wrong with either location. I'd say the mall at Millennia has a very modern feel to it. Every time I go there, I always end up eating at P.F. Chang's. Love P.F. Chang's. Love the mall at Millennia. And what's fantastic is you have the mall, but even just in the surrounding areas, there's a bunch of other stores. You've got your TJ Maxx's and your Michael's and all these other stuff around. So really, there's just something for everyone. And all 4 of these locations are within a very close radius of one another. Within 30 minutes, I'd say, arguably, depending on traffic, but I'd say within a 30 minute, give or take, 40, 30, 40.
You're really only going like 10 miles. So yeah, 30 minutes does sound about right.
So, which I think is really great. Our dear Elise, she always talks about when she travels, making sure she has enough luggage space for anything she might buy. And this is one of those episodes where we will emphasize this. If you get the opportunity to go shopping, the times that I've gone to Disney with my family, my whole family, I'll be honest, we can't afford to do a whole week going to the parks, but we'll definitely carve out a couple of days to go shopping. So lots of stores, and you won't see the same stores at all the different locations. They'll have different ones everywhere. So, yep, go shopping.
No, they definitely do. And and if you're not into the the clothes shopping, things like that, that's okay, because they've got other great things. Like for me, I'm talking a really nice Bass Pro Shop there. Everything from a couple dollar lures to a couple hundreds of thousands of dollars for boats. Like
Boats.
that's where I'm going, either there, or I might go pick up a new pair of cowboy boots over there at the old boot barn right attached to the same mall as Bass Pros. I could spend a lot of money in 2 stores real fast.
I hear you.
There's a lot of great shopping. Actually on iDrive itself, on International Drive, they have 164 stores there. So it is quite a bit. And moving along with International Drive, because everybody, you gotta, if you're young and nimble, I'm not as young anymore, but that's okay. We're talking about a nightlife with 10 different bars and 7 restaurants. And to go along with that, there's actually quite a few, but there's one that I want to mention, and that is Ice Bar Orlando.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, I noticed your notes there, Kelton. That sounds
So
like a super
Ice Bar Orlando,
cool place.
it's a funky one. And I say that because, well, first off, it's the world's largest, which shocks the heck out of me. But then on top of that, it features 70 tons of ice that's all hand carved by the employees that work there. But it offers an experience that is totally unique and that you really won't want to miss. For the wimps who don't enjoy the cold like myself, you are provided thermal jackets and gloves at the entrance. So if you're on one of those hot days, don't worry. They literally and physically have you covered. But then, of course, there's an area able to warm up to bust out those cold dance moves on the floor over there. So for people who like Stephen Brooks that like to get their groove on, Mike and I will be over inside the ice bar at the bar. Just,
And you have your DB, your designated buddy.
designated buddy. Everybody have their designated buddies.
Buddy!
But then you have everything, from the pub to like British hospitality, which, the only tea I like is the tea in the harbor. I know, I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. Going down to Irish, Latin. Then you got the King's Dining, which has a bowling alley, pool tables, and a very retro type of style. And then just one of the regulars, the all famous Howl at the Moon. It's kind of like House of Blues. You can't miss, can't miss places like that too. But that really covers at least a lot of the food portion.
There's so
different
much
things.
more.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, you've got recreation where you can play golf. Actually, at Shingle Creek, which is kind of a more famous golf course. And side note, I actually went to school for college over at Rosen Shingle Creek for my hospitality degree. UCF's Rosen School for Hospitality Management. Anyway, so you got that, a couple of CrossFit and fitness places, get your fit on. And then when you're all done with that, you've got 8 different.
Get your daily wad.
There you go.
Hey, I did CrossFit for a year.
Yeah.
Love it. I
mean,
can
you're
help
going to have
myself.
to after eating out at all of these places.
There are so many good dessert places too. I just gotta say, that's a whole other episode, I gotta say.
Chef's kiss. And then, of course, 8 different spas to get your those deep tissue massages and just getting pampered in general. Honestly, we're already 40 minutes in, and that's International Drive for you right there. That is a lot.
That is a shortened version.
We could probably do a 2 or 3 part episode on iDrive.
Strap in, folks. It's another 5-hour episode.
What's next?
Well, moving right along. So, I think what we should talk. Should we go in order?
It's up to you. You're the host with the most.
I think we're just going to go in order of the show notes because I think it'll be easier, so we're not going up and down. So next up, we have the Kennedy Space Center mentioned. Not only can you blast off in the Astro Orbiter there in Magic Kingdom, but you can also,
which is currently under refurbishment.
For what? What do they need to refurbish?
Couldn't tell you, but it is under refurbishment. I'll tell you that much.
Hold on, I want to know. The people out there, we're going to the universe,
the Mouse Ears universe.
Do you actually like, Mission Space?
I do.
I'm not a fan of it.
I do. Is it my favorite ride? Will I ride it every time? No. I can only go on it like once a year because I never have anyone to go on it with. So I either go by myself or someone really wants to go on it, which is rare.
Now, I will say, it's been years since I tried it. And I think the last time we tried it, we did orange.
Orange is faster.
Yeah.
Green is not.
So.
Is it right? Yeah.
And I'm usually like, I can go on the rides like I don't get sick or anything like that. Kelsey was worried that I was going to stop at one of the trash cans on the way out because it's the only time that I've ever been white in the face after a ride.
Ooh, that's not good. So I always use Mission Space as like an indicator to identify how busy the parks are. If there is no wait time, aka 5, that means it's not that busy for the most part.
If you see a 40-minute wait at Mission Space, go to a different park.
Yeah, if you see 30 or more for Mission Space,
by Lightning Lane.
Yeah, that's by Lightning Lane. It means it's going to be crowded and you're going to be doing a lot of lines, not just for rides, but for food booths as well. So it is not a popular ride. I'm surprised they haven't announced something to get rid of it. Not because like the whole message behind it, working with NASA and everything is awesome, but it really just isn't something that people run to.
Hey, we're not talking about Mission Space here. We're talking about my space.
Yeah, we're talking about the Kennedy Space Center. So, the Kennedy Space Center, located in Merritt Island, Florida, is NASA's premier launch site for human spaceflight. That is awesome. It was established in 1962. It has been the hub for America's space exploration efforts, playing a pivotal role in historic missions like the Apollo program, which landed humans on the moon, and the Space Shuttle program. I mean, the fact that you could one day, go to the parks that we're not mentioning today, and then the next day, go watch something blast off into space?
So growing up in Brevard County, like I had the pleasure to do, area code being the 321 for the reason of Kennedy Space Center being the countdown. It was a huge deal. Now, it's not like today where, SpaceX does a lot of the launches out of Kennedy. So there's, maybe two or three going off every week, or you may see, you'll see a handful a month. It was like, one every 2 years that
Hmm.
would go, something along those lines. Like it was a big, I think my parents still have the pictures of, my parents and I, and then my parents and my brother and I, when we were visiting Kennedy Space Center. It was a big thing, and it is unfortunate that Jen is not on because I know she got to experience the same thing living in Brevard County as well. It was, y'all, it was awesome to see.
I'll be honest, obviously I didn't live in Brevard County, but as recent as last year, I was at Magic Kingdom getting ready to watch the fireworks, and everyone stopped and stared at the sky because there was something in the sky launching, or that launched or whatever from the Kennedy Space Center. And at one point you're like, oh my gosh, what is it? Is that Tinkerbell? No, it is not. But how crazy is it that you could see that even from the parks if you're at the parks or otherwise? It's like the most surreal thing to witness. Whether you're by the lawn, by at the Kennedy Space Center or just in the general area, being able to see that blows my mind.
So I guess I'm the only one that has not lived in Florida, you know, during one point in their lives. But for 5 months, I did live in Huntsville, Alabama when I was 5. So I don't remember it too much, but they also have a space center there too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure my brother got to because I think the big 5th grade field trip was they went to the space center, so I think he got to go. Of course, I was 5, so I was in kindergarten. We did not get to go to the space center.
Boo.
Exactly. Take the kindergartners to the space center. Come on. But like you said, the fact that you can be anywhere in the greater Orlando area and get to see that is very cool. But the center also includes iconic facilities such as the Vehicle Assembly Building. Kelton, do you want to talk about the
No, you go ahead. Then I
Okay.
have stuff to talk
All
about.
right.
I'm so excited.
So, which is one of the largest buildings in the world where rockets are assembled. So, if you're a rocket, people say it's like, well, say I'm not a rocket scientist. Well, rocket scientists are there and they're assembling rockets and
Did you
launch.
say that you're a rocket man?
Yeah, that's right. So, I cannot think of the next line from the Elton John song.
I can't either.
So,
I think it goes like
do
rocket
do do do
man.
do 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 do. Maybe it's a good thing we didn't sing it, so we wouldn't get copyrighted.
It's true.
And Launch Complex 39, which is the site of many historic launches. Today, Kennedy Space Center supports modern space exploration efforts, including launches from the Artemis program, which aims to return humans to the moon and eventually Mars.
I think it's going to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Vehicle Assembly Building. Here we go.
Tell us about the VA.
VAB was actually one of the largest buildings in Florida until 1974. Not really sure what took its place, but probably some building in downtown Orlando, to be honest with you. One of my favorite things about it is the fact that it is so big and the inside is just like an empty, kind of empty-ish. When the doors are open, like it has its own like atmosphere per se that fog can linger inside, and it sometimes I think can like even rain a little bit like inside the building. It's crazy. And just so you can understand how big this building is, there's an American flag painted on the side of the building. Okay, just the blue section behind the stars is the size of a regulation-sized NBA basketball court, the blue part. I mean, it is that big, and it's kind of nice. And so, further even side note to dig into family history. So me growing up there, Casey and her family are from Colorado. Turns out the fact that her grandfather actually was one of the rocket scientists that helped design and build the external fuel tank for the Apollo program. And
That's awesome.
we have
Kismet.
all of his documentation, and a book that, a little binder thing he put together about it. And actually, the external fuel tank is actually sitting in a field in Jacksonville, Florida.
That's incredible.
So
That's incredible. Wow.
now the VAB it is such a cool building to get to go see. It really is.
So, and then one other thing about the Kennedy Space Center, in addition to being an operational spaceport, a Kennedy Space Center offers the public a glimpse into the world of space through the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Visitors can explore interactive exhibits, see real spacecraft like the Space Shuttle Atlantis, and even meet astronauts. The center remains a symbol of innovation, exploration, and the endearing humane spirit to reach beyond our planet.
I like the D voice addition to that. That was good.
Well, I felt it was appropriate. I mean, so, I mean, it is truly just an Incredibles. I mean,
It's history.
yeah,
That is history
Yeah.
right there.
so,
I love it. Well, I just love that it's
Yeah.
like it's a museum. You have your training facility where people can actually go and experience what it's like to be an astronaut. You've got the ability to talk to astronauts. You have the bus tour. You've got the viewing for the launches. This place is massive. It is what we would consider a full day park. A full day park.
maybe 2 days.
Yes,
Yeah.
there is so much to do, so much to experience. You can eat there. You don't even have to leave the premise. I mean,
So much to do, so much to see.
and they've, being who and what they are, they also have some fantastic deals if you're military students, so on and so forth. They've got annual passes. They got Florida resident deals. They've got special events. They've got add-ons to your, ticket and packages. There is so many different things that you can do at the Kennedy Space Center that I think it's worth your while. I mean, I'm not Jen, and Jen has so much more to say with her experience about this, and it's close to the port. So, if you're coming in a day early before a cruise, for instance, don't know what to do, maybe you can do a Kennedy Space or the day after your cruise. This is something that I think anyone who is in the area and is looking for something to do should take advantage of if they're not doing shopping.
Well, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, we may not know. I think they're still talking about it in the history books, so why not see it in person?
They're not talking about it in the history books. There's a lot of documentaries on Netflix and Disney Plus that are fantastic and fun to watch. I love to watch them. Love them.
So instead of riding Mission Space over at Epcot, just hop on over there
Yeah.
to Kennedy Space
Experience the
Center.
real thing.
The real thing.
Yeah. I think it'd be
Forget
really
that
cool.
orange and green level.
I think it'd be really cool though to talk to an astronaut
Oh, yeah.
or experience their training. I've always wanted to do that. Always.
Like go up in the plane and experience weightlessness.
Yeah,
Oh, that would
that
be
machine that
so
just turns you
cool.
all over. Oh my god.
No.
I just want to know if I can handle it.
There's actually, a plane that they would use to train the astronauts
Yeah.
to go up, anti-gravity.
The
Mhm.
simulations
That
that they
would be-
have, right? Or is it a plane? It's an actual
It's
plane.
Yeah,
an
it's a
actual
plane.
plane.
Basically, it'll go up and then go into a nosedive.
Yep.
And basically for like 30, correct me if I'm wrong, Kelton.
I think it's about 30
'cause,
seconds.
30 seconds, you experience weightlessness.
What
And I think they
astronauts
go
feel.
like up and down 12 times.
You see, I would do that, but I will never go
Skydiving?
skydiving. Just
Ooh.
I can't do
Why
that
would I
one.
jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
Yeah, no.
Well,
That is
first I
something you
have to-
couldn't pay me to do.
I would have to get on an airplane.
Brooks, Brooks. That is a discussion off the podcast.
All right. I'm going to fly to Charleston. Then you and I are going to take a guy's week and we're going to go somewhere. Okay.
Please make this happen. And
yeah, we're going to go
the
somewhere.
people of the internet want to see it.
Anywhere. It's like, what's the next flight out? Bozeman,
Honestly,
Indiana.
if you don't record your first time on an airplane.
What's the second flight out?
O'Hare, Chicago, Illinois. Going for a third option.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to go to Chicago.
Not that airport, though.
Well, I mean, I want to visit Chicago.
Chicago's fun. Yeah, Chicago's fun.
No, we're going to get you to Houston.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But we do have a third option to pick.
Believe it or not.
And we're not talking about Chicago. Chicago. We are talking about the Amway Center and, in addition, the Camping World Stadium. That's right. There's 2 places where you can watch professional sports there in Orlando.
Okay, hold on. Time out. I need to know this.
Okay.
It's really not the Amway Center anymore, is it? It's the Kia Center.
Shh. It's the Amway Center.
I know. I call it the Amway too. But if you're looking it up, it's the Kia Center. Unfortunately, in 2023 is
when it's still Amway to me, man.
I always call it Amway.
I typed it up. I had no idea the name changed. Like
2023. Listen, even if I hadn't looked it up, I would still call it the Amway Center because, well, that's what it always is.
The Kia Center. It
was the Amway Center since 2010, and it changed in 2023. 13 years. No, sorry, no. But anyways, what is the Kia/Amway, formerly known as Amway Center? Well, it is the home of the Orlando Magic basketball team. Yes, you can go watch sports in the Orlando area. What a concept.
And we're not talking about the Wild World of Sports complex.
That's correct. So the Kia Center.
Amway.
Sorry.
It hurts my soul.
Sorry, everyone. The Kia Center.
Amway.
I can't keep a straight face.
Can we just call it the Amway Center, please? I beg of you.
Someone else took over. The Amway Center is not just home to the Orlando Magic basketball team, but actually it's the perfect date night if you're looking for a concert at a potentially reduced rate. Honestly, when I tell you, us South Floridians would drive to like Orlando or even Tampa to go to a concert because it will be substantially less than going to a concert in Miami or even the Hard Rock Stadium. Yeah, the guitar. So it's really just like, and there's plenty of artists, comedians, performers, you name it, that go and perform at the Amway Center that you don't have elsewhere. And it's, I mean, listen, we're focusing on the Amway Center, but you've got a lot of other places in the area where you can go watch comedy shows, you name it. But I think this is like a really great thing. I have clients who ask me, "Hey, can I book like sports tickets with you, baseball or something?" Well, this is can we book them? I don't know. Maybe. Yes, I think so. I don't know. But doesn't matter. Neither here nor there. This is something that families do like to do and can do on any evening that they have an event. And there's not just the Amway Center. There is, let me get my notes.
Camping World.
The Camping World Stadium, thank you. The ultimate soccer
Florida Citrus
destination.
Bowl.
See, that's what I know it as is the Citrus Bowl.
Yeah, I don't like the name Camping World Stadium. It just doesn't ring soccer to me.
Come on, Orlando.
The Camping World Stadium is the home of the Orlando City Soccer Club and Orlando Pride. So this is a must-visit for soccer fans looking to experience the passion of an MLS match. Me, however, I'm still upset that Alex Morgan doesn't play there anymore, so it's taking me a little bit of time to get there.
I'm an Atlanta United fan.
Understandably so. I have Miami FC not even 8 minutes from my house. I think it's like pie. But again,
Messy.
Alex Morgan, love her. Shout out to her. So, as Brooks kind of mentioned, they do host major sporting events here, like the Citrus Bowl, the Florida Classic, and even the and some international soccer matches. They also sometimes do concerts and festivals, such as Monster Jam.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
And WrestleMania 33.
That's right.
And just some other major music festivals that draws in some great crowds. It is a family-friendly atmosphere. And again, affordable prices for sports fans. So just really just something, a great thing that anyone can do, any age. And I want to say there's almost always an event going on in these locations, whether, like I said, a concert, comedian, performance, sporting event, you name it. So, again, and I feel people love to go to a sports bar and watch their games. Why don't you go see it in person? That's all I gotta say. Anything else you guys want to add?
So
I think you covered it.
Yeah. So one thing, and I'll going away from our top 3 things to do. So one thing that I thought about, and I think this would be fun, because even though I've never lived in Florida, I have spent time in Orlando doing other stuff doing other stuff beside the parks. And we kind of talked about some before. There is a lot of places to eat in Orlando. Orlando, I feel like, is a very underrated foodie town. Somebody feed Phil, you need to go to Orlando. But I wanted to propose to y'all a local restaurant for people to try. And no, I'm not talking about Wawa's, even though that is somewhere I have to constantly go because I don't have Wawa's.
I almost just spit out my coffee. Thank you. I did not expect
because
you to
I don't
say
have
that.
Wawa's, but their Philly cheesesteak sub and mac and cheese
to die for.
I haven't had that. I'm a mac and cheese girly from Wawa's.
Their mac and cheese may be the best mac and cheese I've ever had.
It's
mac
good.
and cheese
It
there
is
just
so good.
Yeah.
Fun
I'm
fact.
hungry now.
I was picking up Wawa's for Kelsey, Ellie, and I when Ellie took her first steps. I got a video on my way back from Wawa's, Ellie taking her first steps. I was like, and then she literally stuck her face into the family size bowl of mac and cheese. But we're not talking about Wawa's, even though I could talk about Wawa's. I want each of y'all to think real quick of a local restaurant you want to suggest for people to try. And I will go first. And I think I've talked about it a few times, but I will mention it again. If you like ramen, if you like anime, there is 2 places to go in Orlando. Same name. Super Saiyan. I was finally able to convince Kelsey to let me go and try it because I've been following them on Instagram ever since they opened. And after I ran the Princess Half Marathon in 2022, was able to convince Kelsey, please let me try this as my celebratory. I did it, and it was everything I thought it could be and more. The food is amazing. She even has said several times, every time we go back, she wants to go just for their zucchini fries.
Oh, nice.
So they don't just have ramen, but it is incredible. Again, they have 2 locations, one on University Boulevard and the other one on Vineland or Vineland, however you want to say it.
Okay.
And I will say this, if you're at Universal, it's only about 5-10 minutes.
That's not bad.
You can have amazing ramen.
That sounds really good, and I'm getting really hungry, and I had dinner right before we recorded. That's a problem.
Yeah, I had Zucca Toscana soup. That's right, your boy can cook. All right, who's next? Kelton, I think you were ready. Frosty himself.
I am feeling frosty.
Are you feeling hungry? I'm
also feeling hungry for a chop house. And I'm going to give you the original location, Manny's Original Chop House. Now, I am really stretching that greater Orlando circle on this one. For my locals, off Highway 27 down in Davenport. For my non-locals, You're pushing 45-minute drive. However, hear me out. No reservations. It opens at 4. When you sit down, picture, if you will.
Okay, let me close my eyes.
Yes. Your table.
Mm-hmm.
You have a table.
Yes.
The old checkered red and white tablecloth. When you order your steak, however you like it,
I have to
rare.
put a bib
I'm a
on.
medium rare guy.
The only way.
Could be medium. Stop there. We don't go any further than that.
No. Kelsey,
You
listen.
get sides. A couple of sides.
Ooh,
2 sides.
tell
Nothing
me
crazy.
sides are.
You can have like your baked beans, your what is it? The cinnamon apple slices. You got the corn on the cob.
Please tell me
I'm
there's a
pretty
baked
sure
potato.
well, of course there's a baked potato. You're having a steak. You've got cornbread, warm cornbread. I'm telling you.
I gotta drink coffee to hold me over.
On top of that,
A Crystal Light.
you get a salad, either house or Caesar. Here's my
Caesar,
thing.
all the way.
The salad comes out in one of those large kitchen mixing bowls. They slap that bad boy right in front of you. Oh, yeah. They don't like it's not in a nice small bowl. Oh, no, this is home style. Boom. Right there on the table. So if there's 4 of you and 4 of you order all, a steak with the sides and a salad, there's going to be 4 large kitchen metal mixing bowls on that table. You run out of
It's
room
like
for that
you're
fast.
just like one person order the salad, and we
On
all
top
agree
of
on the
it.
salad.
It goes when you order the steak, like it's the salad is there. You're getting the salad no matter what. All 4 of y'all are getting the salad. On top of that, you have the warmest
Okay, let me close my eyes.
bread with the cinnamon
Kelton,
butter.
stop it.
We have so much better than Texas Roadhouse.
Okay, so fam, we're going, right?
With what time?
Okay, I was about to say too. The price. What's the
$20 to $30 a person. Nothing more than Texas Roadhouse,
That's fantastic.
but
Yeah.
better. Oh yeah.
So
And I
Kelton,
love me some
we
Texas
have
Roadhouse.
cars for fam.
We do, but we would have to go Wednesday night when I get in. I
And
get in at 8:30.
and
They close at 10. I guess we're going. Anyway, Manny's Original Chop House down there, Highway 27 in Davenport. Steph, how about you?
I'm starving. Thank you.
Very
I'm
good.
Brooks.
Oh, you
Nice to
you
meet
mean
you.
you want me to go next? Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
How could you follow that one up?
I'm
Well-
glad
The
I went
warm
first.
bread rolls.
Zucchini
Do they have like some nice
fries.
butter too? Like some specialty butter?
Yeah, it's the cinnamon butter. Oh, so good. Oh, yeah.
The diets just don't exist in my life.
Just whip it on that
All
bread.
it is, it kind of exists like my lottery winnings. It just doesn't.
Gosh, I got goosebumps just because I'm so like thrilled by the idea of food. Like, what is wrong with me? Bread
Nothing.
and butter.
God bless
Well, that's our bread and
Texas.
butter, baby.
I love Texas Roadhouse. So if you're saying this is better, like,
Better.
Wait, real quick. Did y'all know that for Valentine's Day you could get a bouquet of Texas Roadhouse rolls sent to someone? I'm dead serious.
So I love that. And I want to tag it on with a side note. If you call early enough for Thanksgiving, you can buy just the dough of the bread rolls for
Shut
your
up.
Thanksgiving meal.
no way.
Yahweh.
God, I need to
Yahweh.
tell Michael that.
Amway.
Amway. I'll text Michael for you. I'll let him know that he needs to order
Yeah.
the bread rolls for
He
Thanksgiving.
needs a bouquet of Texas Roadhouse rolls.
You know
for
what? That's
Valentine's
what you
Day.
should get. That's what you should get Michael for Valentine's Day. Get him a bouquet of Texas Roadhouse.
By the time
bread
this
rolls.
drops, it'll be right before
Yeah.
Valentine's, so get your notepads out, people. I'm crying. That Amway comment really just really.
All
People
right,
are gonna
Steph,
go, what is the Amway and Citrus Bowl?
Like, I thought this was a travel podcast. What?
we're traveling
are we
in
going on?
Orlando. We're traveling back in time.
We probably just spent 10 minutes talking about bread.
And
Uh,
I don't see the problem here. Steph, what is your local restaurant?
so I'm gonna stay away from dinner, and I'm gonna provide a breakfast Can also be a lunch or a brunch location. Not far. We're talking like less than about 10 or less minutes from the parks, from Walt Disney World specifically, because hello, this will probably be the best biscuit you ever have in your life. Fight me on it. I'm talking about Maple Street Biscuit Company. And that is on Earl Bronson in the, I think it's like the Celebration area.
Oh my God, it's 192. Just say it correctly.
I didn't live there, so I know Earl Bronson. That's what I see when I go there.
Earl.
And Steph, I need to introduce you to Vicious Biscuit here in Charleston.
Please take me when I go visit you. Yeah,
when you and Mike come.
Yes, please. I love biscuit. Michael loves biscuits. Well, we found this place, and it's actually in the same plaza as where the Disney Cruise Line headquarters are in Celebration. I really enjoy getting the biscuits there. They don't have just biscuits. They actually have breakfast, like meals, plates, dishes, fantastic coffee, drinks, but different flavors. You don't get your traditional one. You've got some fun specialty stuff, which is always a good time. I love a good specialty coffee. Brooks, I'm sure you would absolutely enjoy it. So here's the thing about this location. I, being a big foodie girl, I am religious about using Yelp to find new food locations. Love it. Especially, for my reviews and whatever. So this was on my list for a while. We finally got around to it. I'm like, no, Michael, we need to check this out. This place is close. It has really good reviews, so on and so forth. We get there, and the line is literally wrapping around the location into the parking lot. And Michael just looks at me like, I'm not feeling this line. And I'm like, no. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to do this. So I get a head start. I get in line. He's parking the car. It's actually moving fast. It is a revolving door of people. That is how good it is, where it is just nonstop people walking in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And it's not open at all hours of the day. It's got a breakfast and a lunch time. But it was just, people were going dressed up. People were going dressed to the parks. People were in PJs. Every kind of attire you saw just, again, I'm like, if there's this many people here standing in line that's wrapping around the building into the parking lot, it's got to be good. We can't miss up this opportunity. So it kind of works in I want to call it a Panera style, where you walk in, you order at cash register, and then you're just waiting in the vicinity until they call your name with your dish, and you kind of just find somewhere to sit if you're not taking to go. Their biscuit sandwiches are to absolutely die for. Absolutely die for. Their jam, unreal. Their bowls, forget about it. Their coffee,
forget about it.
Or order the whole menu, right? If you're not wanting to sit there and have, your sandwiches, you can order ahead, a dozen biscuits. Michael and I have done that too. Well, we'll order a dozen biscuits and it'll hold us over for a week. We just have our biscuits, but we're getting their biscuits because they're soft, and they actually stay soft for several days. And it comes with oh my gosh, I can't even. Just trust me. Go to, I'm going to make sure I'm saying this correct, this is a mouthful, Maple Street Biscuit Company. You won't regret it. Good for breakfast, good for brunch. Good for making you happy. And with that, I close.
I'm so hungry.
Have you been there?
I have not.
I have a question.
But I really would like to.
Yes.
Question in the gallery. You talk about biscuits. Do they have gravy? Do they have biscuits and gravy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
How is their gravy?
I did not try. Actually, that's a lie. His did have a gravy, I think. Yeah, they have 2 flaky biscuit covered in our house-made sausage gravy with a kick. They have chicken and waffles. They've got bowls.
I do like chicken and waffles.
Smoking a pancake. Cigar and a waffle.
Cracking a crap.
I'm trying to see. Listen to this one. I think this is this the one that Michael had? Can I see it? I can't see it.
You get one, then we got to wrap it up.
I will wrap it up. Just go go visit yourself. It's worth it.
Well, I think we have given a lot of options for people to do outside of the parks. I mean, that sticky maple does look fantastic. But if you do remember way back in time, we did have a trivia question. Kelton, take it away.
Well, going back in time, just like Pitbull did. What was the first theme park to open in Orlando, Florida? It was a tough question, but I will have to say, if you had guessed SeaWorld Orlando, you'd be wrong. You would absolutely be wrong. It was actually Gatorland.
Did not know.
One that we did not even talk about, and that
It
was a
was on
close
our.
one.
It was actually my
Potential.
honorable mention.
Gatorland opened up in Orlando in 1949.
That's
Have you
crazy.
been? I haven't been.
I have not either, being a local.
I have not been. I have called the voicemail.
Y'all, you need to do it if you haven't called.
It is hilarious.
Really?
Correct me if
Yes.
I'm wrong.
Why do I not know this?
Yeehaw! Welcome to Gatorland, Florida's premier Gator extravaganza. Something like that, isn't it?
I believe that is how it starts.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
I think I first heard about it from the comedian Gabriel Iglesias talking about it.
Fluffy.
And he was talking about it, and it's like, for Spanish, press 1. And he's like, well, I got to press that. And he presses it. I don't speak Spanish, but you're sure going to love this park.
It is. Do some research on it, and it's expanded in over, you know, the 80 years that it's been open. I mean,
like, the voicemail is hilarious, but in all honesty, it looks incredible.
It looks fun. A lot of good alligator and crocodile research has goes into it. I do believe they work with Disney when it comes to relocating some of the alligators that do end up on property. So definitely we can make it the honorable mention. It's worth looking into if you are not going to if you're going to have a rest day from any of the theme parks in Orlando. Definitely take a look at Gatorland.
Yeah. Well, folks, I think that just about does it for this week's episode of the Mouse Ears Podcast. Don't forget to join our Mouse Ears Podcast Facebook group and follow us on It's Back, TikTok, and Instagram to stay up to date for all things travel, but mostly Disney. And if you're interested in having a Fairy Tale Journeys agent book your next trip, visit fairytalejourneys.com and let them know that the podcast sent you. Lastly, if you enjoy our weekly episodes of the Mouse Ears Podcast, we would love for you to leave us a review wherever you listen to us. Until the next episode, thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.